Today we are going to be working through 4 different movements that are going to help improve the hip flexors. I work with a lot of clients who complain about pain or tightness around this area, and these are 4 different movements that I strongly encourage them to do consistently on a weekly basis to help improve the strength and the mobility of the hips. So we're going to get right into it. I will say if you need like a dish towel or a strap, you might need a dish towel or a strap for one of these exercises, but it's optional. You don't have to have one. But we're gonna begin on all fours. So just going to all fours, you're gonna place your hands right below your shoulders, and your knees are just right below your hips. You can have shoelaces down or your toes curled under. It doesn't matter either way. And we're just gonna start right here. Just start with a breath here. I want you to take a big breath in through your nose, draw your shoulders down and back, and you'll take a big exhale, release. And we're trying to just think of drawing like your belly button up and in towards your spine, so there's this little brace for a punch in the stomach. Do that again, inhale. Maybe you'll notice the ribs flare on that inhale, and then a big exhale. You're just drawing your belly button in for this gentle cough feeling or this slight brace for a punch in the stomach. And again, big inhale through your nose, and then a big exhale through your mouth, drawing your shoulders down. Just make sure the shoulders don't start pulling up towards your ears here. And then let's go one more time. Big deep breath in through your nose, and then a big exhale all the way out. We're gonna start with lifting our right knee off the ground, and we're gonna actually make this big circle as big as we can. So I'm gonna start to pull my knee in towards my elbow here, and then I'm gonna lift it out to the side, and I'm doing this big circle around back behind me, and then I'll come back to starting position, okay? So that's the movement. So maybe an exhale as you pull your knee as close and up and in as you can to your elbow. Lift it out to the side, and we're wrapping that leg behind us. And then we lower back down. Now you'll notice, keep going here, you'll start to notice your body's going to shift into the left side, but I want you to try to counteract that by leaning your body into the right arm. Let's try that one more time. Big pull, exhale here, exhale the breath. Out to the side, we lift the knee and we wrap it around, and we're gonna reverse. So we lift the leg behind us, we pull it around to the side, trying to keep your knee up as high as you can here towards the elbow, and then drop it back down. Let's do 3 more there. Maybe an inhale, exhale, start to pull that knee in, and I can feel my body leaning into that left side, so I'm trying to counteract that again by leaning into the right side. And then big pull, exhaling as that knee comes in, drop it down. And then last time here, big lift here. Turn your knee out to the side, trying to keep your hips down, facing the ground. And then we'll drop that leg down. We're gonna move to the other side. I'm gonna turn so you can see me from this direction. So we're back on all fours. That's your left leg this time. So we're gonna start with our knee pulling in towards our elbow, as high up as you can get it. Lifting the knee out to the side, wrapping it around, and then dropping it back down. Not really dropping it, but just kind of lowering it down towards the floor to where it hovers. Knee pulls, exhale here, big up and around. Now, it's so difficult for me not to let my shoulders start to shift as I'm doing this. I'm trying to think of my shoulders. They're just down facing the floor. I'm pulling my shoulders down and back. And then we'll go one more this direction, so the knee pulls up and into the elbow. I lift it out to the side, leaning into that left arm, trying not to lean too much into the right side. And we're gonna reverse. So lifting the leg up. Maybe you find this little brace for a punch here, and then you turn the knee out to the side. Try to keep that knee as high as you can, pulling it in towards that elbow. And then repeat. So you will feel this in your arms big time here. 2 as well. And then down, we'll go 2 more. Big lift, shoulders draw down. As we get tired, you'll notice I call it shoulder earrings, where your shoulders want to start to come up to the ears, but really focus on pulling the shoulders down and back as you perform this movement. Okay, good job. Maybe shake the wrist out. We're gonna come up. We're gonna take a leg in front of us. We'll say your left leg will come forward to a kneeling position. If you need some pads or something under your knees, if your surface is like not feeling right in your knees, just take a pad underneath the knee. And we're gonna lean into this little leg here, just a little bit. We're gonna clasp our hands together. I'll show you from the side in a moment. We're just gonna twist. So I wanna take an inhale at center. Exhale, I'm pushing my hands towards one another and I'm gonna twist. Now when I twist, try to let all that air from the lungs out. And then back through center. I'm gonna show you from the side, okay? So inhale through center, then a big exhale, twist. Twist, and you're just trying to twist as much as you can. Okay, we'll do that again. Inhale through center, and then an exhale. Now here is an option. You could straighten your arms, straighten the arms, push the palms together, and then back through center. Inhale here, big exhale, twist, reach. You'll notice like your one arm's maybe getting longer or shorter than the other. Try to keep the fingers even on that twist, and then back through center. We're gonna do 6, so let's go 3 more. Inhale, exhale, twist, twist, twist. Reach, reach, reach. The shoulders draw down and back again. And then back through center. I haven't done this one in a while, and I can tell. Inhale, exhale, twist, and reach, reach, reach. If you don't like the hands long, just stay here. This is a good place to work from. Inhale, exhale, twist, twist, twist. 2, try to pull your legs towards one another. So I'm squeezing, I'm turning my inner thighs on by squeezing my legs towards one another rather than letting them come out. One more time. Exhale, twist. I may have given you a bonus, but that's okay. And then back through center. Okay, other side. So right leg, we'll step forward. This is me from the front again. Take a big breath in, inhaling. Hands press. Exhale, we twist and rotate. And rotate. You're just rotating as much as you can, pushing your palms together. And then back through center. And you may start noticing me or yourself like leaning over to one side. That happens. This is working a lot of stability here as well. And then back through center. And here's where we can start to add maybe the length of the arms, the reach. Oh my gosh, this side is way tighter for me. Through center. Inhale, big exhale, and we twist. And we reach, reach, reach. It's so crazy how much you'll start to tell if you haven't been consistent with something, how much of a difference this can be in your body. Draw the shoulders down and back. And it seems like such a simple movement. And when we focus on the details, exhale, twist. It becomes a very different exercise, right? So we could just like motion through this, not really think about what we're doing. Inhale, exhale, twist. And it's not as challenging. Let's go one more time. Inhale, exhale, twist. Hugging your legs towards one another. Straightening the arms, reaching. And then back through center. Okay, let's go back to the opposite side leg, okay? We'll take the left leg forward here. We're gonna lean into this leg, okay? We're gonna do a little stretch here. You'll feel the stretch from your quad up to the hip flexors here. Right arm is gonna reach up and over towards your ear. We're leaning over, okay? Take an inhale, exhale. Try to pull this shoulder down away from your ear as you lean over. I like to use this hand. Your left hand could push into this knee to support you for balance. And then we're actually gonna lean back. I'll show you from the side in a moment. Try to flex this ankle here. My toes are pulling towards me, and I'm trying to flatten my back. So there's this back of the leg stretch from your calf up to the hamstring. And then we're gonna do that again. I'm gonna turn to the side now so you can see me. I'm leaning into this. I may even find this little butt squeeze. It's gonna change what my pelvis does and give me a little bit deeper of a stretch in that right hip flexor. Big inhale up. Exhale, lean over. Maybe your knee pushes into your hand to the knee. And then we lean back. And this is this little hamstring back of the leg stretch. Now notice, it's not a nose to knee stretch where I drop my head. I'm actually gonna think of poking my butt out behind me. So it's this little poke out, and I'm trying to flatten my back as opposed to rounding. My shoulders draw down, and then I come back through center. Let's do that 2 more times. Big reach, exhaling it out, leaning into this. Maybe we find that little butt squeeze or a tuck of your pelvis, little tuck there. And then I lean back, flexing my foot, flattening my back. This is a nice one too if you took a strap underneath your foot and held this stretch for a bit. And then reach. Big reach. Maybe the butt squeeze, just kind of rethinking of everything. Your shoulders should be facing in front of you, both shoulders, one's not turning to the side. And then sit back. Flattening your back, almost feel that you're going to poke your butt out here. So it's not about me just taking my head to my knee. You'll get a much better stretch there. And then we'll switch sides. Okay, so right leg forward, I'll come back and face you. Right leg comes forward. Okay, so here we go. We take an inhale, exhale, we reach up and over. Hand, outside hand can push into the knee presses to the hand. Now see my shoulder, I'm lifting it up towards my ear, which sometimes that's nice to do to kind of really feel this in your body, but then think of pulling your shoulder down and back. And sometimes it depends on your range of motion here and how mobile like your shoulder is, but it may not feel right for you to get your arm straight, but I do want you to try to reach as much as you can and then pull the shoulder down and back. And then we'll sit back again. So the leg just straightens in front of you, your toes pull towards your face, you're flattening your back, maybe thinking of your collarbones kind of coming forward, your chest is reaching forward, and then we'll do that again. Big reach here, maybe the butt squeeze, maybe the tuck. I know it's like a lot of things to think about, but when you're consistent with it, you'll start to be like, oh, you'll be able to think of more things at once the more you do this. So if I'm giving a lot of cues now, just pick one and focus on that if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, if you're like, oh, that's a lot to think about. Just pick one, master that, and then you can start to add on. Squeeze your booty here, shoulder draws down, and I'm just kind of reminding you as we go through. And then flex, sit back. We'll do that one more time. Try to poke your butt out. I'm gonna give you a little longer. Hold here. Poke your butt out a little bit. Could you pull your right hip back a hair? Right hip tries to pull back. Let's try that one more time. Big reach, big breath. Exhale, holding this. Maybe we find that tuck, maybe a butt squeeze. Just see where you're at. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just we're trying to create these little neural pathways from your brain and with your muscles to say, hey, do this, and this is what this is supposed to feel like. Okay, and then last time, sitting back, reaching again. So I didn't tell you on the other side, but it's this hip. You kind of want to pull back because it may pull too far forward. So I kind of sit back into it. I flatten my back and then I come back up. Okay, so we got one more exercise. We're gonna go back to the left leg. Actually, we're gonna go to downward facing dog, just kidding. Literally a downward facing dog. So this is like yoga, okay? Hands are gonna push down into the mat. You're back to all fours. We're gonna lift the knees up off the ground. Your feet could be about hip distance apart, hip bone distance. So it's not super wide here. We could bring the legs a little closer together. Now, if you're feeling really tight in your backside body, it might be a lot to push your heels down, but that's okay. We're gonna work through this. What I'd like you to do is lift your heels, no matter where you're at. Let's lift the heels together. Bend your knees, sit back towards your heels. Now you're gonna start to drop your heels, but I want you to feel that you're gonna poke your butt out as you lift. Draw your chin towards the chest, and I know you might need to look at the video, so please pause this so you're not looking to the side, so I don't want you to hurt your neck. I'm gonna try to give you good cues though. So we'll lift the heels again. Try to keep your head down here so you're not in your neck. I'm sitting back towards my heels. Now as I start to lift up, I'm trying to push my butt back behind me and then drop my heels as close to the floor as I can. Let's try that one more time. We'll lift the heels, bend the knees, and we're sitting back towards the heels here. And then I'm pushing the heels down as I push my butt back behind me. So this is different than a tuck. So rather than you tucking and rounding your back, I want you to poke your butt back behind you. Almost as if you're gonna flare your rib cage and hold. We're gonna walk our dog, so one heel will lift and then the other. Just one heel lifts and then the other. Keep pushing your hands firmly down into the mat, including your fingertips. Sometimes this will get in the wrist, and if that happens, sometimes it can be from you lifting your fingers off the mat, but use your fingers, the bottoms of your fingers push down into the mat. Okay, from here, let's lift your left leg up to the ceiling, point your toe, reach just as high as you can. We're gonna pull that knee through and go into a pigeon. So what I'm doing here is my knee just comes right between my hands, and I'm gonna bring this foot forward if this feels okay in that left knee, and we're gonna hang out right here. Now what I see a lot of people do in pigeon is they tend to just sit down into this hip back here. I want you to try to keep it lifted, but focus more. I hope my hair didn't get on my mic, I just realized that. Keep your hips and shoulders facing forward. Think of your little tuck. So when I drop my hip down here, my hips aren't square to the wall in front of me. And that's what I want you to be mindful of, is your shoulders and hips should all be facing forward, right in front of you. Now, if this is feeling too much, if you're just like, there's no way I can freaking get in that position, you could actually lay down and do a four-figure stretch here. Okay, so that's what I would suggest you doing if that. You could still try the downward facing dog, but when you get into pigeon, you come here and do a four-figure stretch, okay? And this is also where you can grab the backs of the legs. So let's hang out here. I'm gonna go back the other way. You're just holding and breathing. We could all, no matter where you're at, you could flex your foot. So that leg that's in front of you or crossed over that opposite leg, you're pushing through your heel. You're gonna, if you're laying on the ground, you're trying to push your knee down towards the floor. And up here, if you're still feeling good here, we could just walk our hands forward and kind of bow down. Now it's the same thing here. Rather than just saying, I'm gonna drop my head all the way down and rest my head, I want you to think of lengthening your back. Your shoulders draw down and back. Maybe you reach your arms forward. That's gonna give you even a deeper stretch. We'll hold there just a little bit longer. Big deep breath in through your nose and a big exhale. One more breath. Maybe a butt squeeze here, a gentle squeeze, and then release. Now we're gonna walk this up. This is where you could use your strap or not use your strap or a dish towel, whatever you have. You would you'd wrap your strap around behind you with your strap, and you can pull. I gotta take my foot through, there we go. Okay, and then you can just pull your leg towards you here. You can hold with the opposite side hand or both hands. Find your little squeeze. And it's okay if you're like, what in the world, I can't do this right now. Hold on, I'll show you. But you're here, right? You could be here holding, both hands are wrapped back. Maybe the butt squeeze, you'll feel a very deep stretch here. Here's your other option if that is not serving your body. Standing stretch here. You just take your foot behind you. Again, you could use the strap if you need it. Maybe you squeeze your knees towards one another. Maybe you tuck. Maybe you flex your foot. There's so many things we can do to get deeper into this. And you hold. We're just gonna stay here, wherever you're at, whether you're on the floor, you're standing. Again, it's consistency. You wanna show up to this. So the more you're doing this weekly, like once a week is not enough, especially if you're tight in your hip flexors. But if you really wanna improve strength and the health of your hips and keep them healthy, you want to be doing this several times a week. You could maybe even do more if you're experiencing a lot of pain. And then I would say like maybe 3 to 4 times a week. Everybody's going to be a little bit different depending on where you're at and what you're trying to achieve. We're going to go back to downward facing dog, okay? So take a big inhale, lift. Exhale, we'll forward fold over. Walk it out, just a hair, just a little bit. And then we're gonna hold here, maybe walking the feet a little closer together. You could wag your tail. Just kind of shake the hips side to side, pushing your finger pads back down into the ground. Draw the chin into the chest. I'm gonna try to give you really good cues so you don't have to look at the camera, but if you need, please, if you need to pause again, pause it so you can stay looking at the floor. All right, so here we go. We're gonna reach the opposite leg back. Lift, big lift here. And then we'll pull the knee through, okay? We don't have to stay on that side or that downward facing dog as long. Okay, so we're here. My leg is through. I'm lifted, I'm tall. I'm not dropping into this hip here, right? You see that? That's what I meant on the other side. You could also, if you're having a hard time staying lifted, you could take a bolster or something right here underneath your leg, a towel, even a rolled up towel to keep you lifted. And we're here, right? We're just hanging out. This is where you could go into that 4-figure stretch if you need to. Maybe you find a tuck or a butt squeeze, walk your hands out. I'm gonna go back and I'll show you that forward, the 4-figure again, just in case. So you could also lay down on the ground, crossing an ankle over the knee, pushing your knee away from your body, and just holding and breathing. Now what I'm doing is that, remember, flex your foot, your ankle's flexed. I'm pushing this knee away from my body, and I'm trying to not let my hips shift. I'm trying to keep my hips, my hip bones are square. I could almost balance like a bowl of water on my hips. If you find that water is leaning over here and it's pouring out into the other side, that tells us that your hips have shifted. We're just trying to keep a very stable hip area, and that's going to give you a better stretch as well. So take another breath or two here. You could take your hands, cross them behind you, big stretch here, pushing this knee away from your body, big inhale, big exhale. It's very important when you're stretching, please breathe, use your breath, inhaling, and then a big exhale. Now we have that option, right? We have our quad stretch, either standing, so at this point you know where you're at. It would be opposite side leg, standing, right? Yes. Or we are in our pigeon and we're just maybe using our strap, maybe no strap, and we reach back. You could go opposite side hand first if you need this hand to support you. Maybe you find a little butt squeeze. You'll feel a deep stretch in your hip flexor. Maybe you take both hands back and you push your foot into your hands. And those are just all options. And you want to start wherever you're at, right? Don't over push. You want to feel a challenge. You want to feel like it's delightfully uncomfortable, where it almost, there's a part of it that may feel kind of good, but it's not painful. If it's painful, you need to back off a little bit. Try a couple more breaths. Big inhale through your nose. Big exhale. Maybe one more there. Inhaling. And then a big exhaling. Let that go. And you're all done. Thanks for joining me.